Number 1. Flying motorcycle. The flying motorcycle is well underway, with prototypes coming out of HoverSurf since 2016. The tech company has had its fair share of headlines and rumors over the past few years, but they certainly aren't hiding the fact that they're being considered. Founded by Russian entrepreneur Alex Atamanov, shots of riders taking to the sky in these futuristic-looking machines have already been released. Combining a traditional motorbike with quadcopter propellers, the flying machines look to be powered by gasoline, but rechargeable batteries could be an option. The bike weighs 114 kilograms and can reach 96 kilometers an hour, with a recommended flight height of 5 meters. The idea already given the green light by the FAA, and even the Dubai police force have shown great interest in the vehicle. As a result, they have made a deal with HoverSurf, which allows them to begin training officers to fly the first of the serial production units. These bikes can be pre-ordered for $150,000, but with that comes a compulsory $10,000 3-day training course in California. No better time than now to start saving if you want to own one of the first hovercrafts to take to the skies. Number 2. Private jet that lands itself. With many incidents in the past where aircrafts have had to emergency land due to pilot complications, developers must always ensure automatic aircraft control, with landing being one of the biggest priorities. Following an incident in Australia where a man was forced to land an aircraft without any experience, a private aircraft company called Cirrus began demonstrating a technology fittingly named Auto Land. This system would be configured into an airplane's control panel in order to initiate an automatic emergency landing. The idea was first developed by navigation and avionics company Garmin, and the current plan is to design it in a way where, once initiated, the system can seek out and recognize the nearest airport or suitable landing area and then follow through with the landing. Obviously, there would be issues with control towers and security, which is why a voice command that sends an emergency message to the airports would be programmed in as well, giving time for both the runway and airspace to be cleared. The Auto Land system will rely on an integrated system of sensors, which will include a GPS and radar. It should be capable of landing at any airport, including those that don't have sophisticated landing or guiding systems. Number 3. A lot of car companies are literally right now working on flying cars that are far closer to completion than you might expect. Uber are currently developing flying taxis that they're hoping to have working as soon as 2023. And Slovakia-based Aeromobile has actively developed as many as 4 prototypes of a flying car. Obviously, in reality, a flying car would sadly not look like the ones from the Jetsons. But this photo shows a mock-up of what many industry experts think the finished thing might look like. Other people actively developing flying cars include none other than Elon Musk. Who do you think will be the first to succeed in this all-new market? Number 4. Flying yacht. The aviation revolution has truly begun, and with thoughts of expanding into the flying yacht market, who knows what they'll consider next. Inada, a shipyard based in the UAE, have designed a 32-foot foiler flying yacht that can fly up to 5 feet above the waves. Some benefits include the elimination of seasickness and a smoother ride to that experienced on the water. Due to its flying height, passengers won't have to deal with sprays, drops, and choppiness from the seas. Using 4 hydrofoils like the ones used in the America's Cup, the yacht is elevated as if it was on wings, resulting in a smooth takeoff and landing. The 2020 model apparently has joystick controls to further improve captaincy choices, and with the help of an industrial-grade hybrid propulsion system, the yacht has the potential to coast along the water in complete silence, further improving the experience for those on board. The carbon fiber yacht is completely customizable and is powered by 2 V8 diesel engines that together reach a power of 740 horsepower and speeds of 40 knots. Number 5. Flying bike. Fans of Luke Skywalker's Landspeeder might be intrigued by the works of Aerofx, a company that are making strides in developing an Aero X hover bike. The machine is 4.5 meters long, 2.1 meters wide, and has the capacity to carry at least 2 people. Hovering 3 meters above the ground, the bike is said to reach speeds of up to 70 kilometers per hour. The carbon fiber rotors allow the $85,000 machine to take off and land vertically with a full tank of petrol, keeping it going for a good 70 minutes or so. The developers have created a similar maneuverability to that of a regular motorcycle, allowing you to tilt your body to change your course. Aerofx have a weekend course set up for the vehicle, and apparently completing it is all you need to do in order to be qualified to fly one. With a weight limit of 140 kilograms, this bike could be very useful for outdoor transportation and even scientific research. It has plenty of safety features, which include airbags and a redundant control system. Because it takes off vertically, users won't need to use a runway or pick up any speed whatsoever. Number 6. The Flying Mansion. If you're not a fan of flying or feel you could use a more comfortable setting in which to fly, no worries, because there's now a hybrid airship that is practically like flying in a mansion. Developed by Hybrid Air Vehicles, this aircraft has aspects of other vehicles such as airships, helicopters, and planes. It measures 302 feet long and is said to be 60 feet longer than the Airbus A380, which is the world's largest passenger plane. Created in 2012, the aircraft was named the Airlander 10 and cost up to $32 million. If you ever wanted to take a cruise in the sky, this is essentially it. You can stay up there for several days at a time, and the interior feels very homely. The designs of the Airlander 10 mainly came from the idea that flying should be more of an experience than a test of time. Instead of trying to get somewhere quickly, why not chill out, relax, and, have a party in the sky? Equipped with 10 en-suite bedrooms, a bar and lounge area, who wouldn't want to give this a go? Each Airlander, however, must complete 200 incident-free hours before being flown with passengers. It has recently completed 6 successful test flights, but has crashed on its second attempt in 2016, whilst also collapsing before takeoff in 2017. No fear, however, if you do board one of these vehicles, you can take comfort in knowing that. Number 7. Arca Board. Hoverboards are a futuristic vehicle that have been highly coveted since the 1989 release of Back to the Future Part 2, and it seems the days of imagining their existence are well behind us. Plenty of companies have attempted it over the years, Lexus coming close in 2015 with a hoverboard that functioned properly. The Arca Space Corporation, however, might be onto something. The private aerospace company from New Mexico has built its fair share of rockets and aircrafts over the years, but the Arca board shows some real promise. The rectangular flying machine can hover a foot above the ground and is said to be the lightest personal vehicle in existence, with the ability to move in any direction, including upwards. The Arca board can reach a maximum speed of 12.5 miles per hour using 36 battery-powered electric fans, motor controllers, and proximity sensors. Smartphones can be used to control the board if you aren't comfortable in using your own movements to control direction. However, with a reported flying time of just 6 minutes at this stage, this mode of transport won't be used anytime. Number 8. Time soon. The solar-powered aircraft that can fly for months. The Odysseus is a high-altitude pseudo-satellite, or HAPS, developed by Aurora Flight Sciences. This supposedly solar-powered, autonomous, high-altitude aircraft is said to be able to fly indefinitely. Able to fly at altitudes of 20 kilometers above the clouds, the Odysseus contains a wingspan of 243 feet and a payload capacity of around 55 pounds. It also contains about 250 watts of power that can be used for things such as satellites that it might be carrying. According to the company's website, the aircraft can fly all year round and maintain a stable position during any kind of weather or stratospheric conditions. These are some very bold claims, but they seem very confident, and if it's producing positive results, who can argue with them? The Odysseus is advertised for being able to complete tasks such as vegetation measuring, ice coverage, and even ground moisture. Along with these qualities, it should also be noted that the Odysseus doesn't require an operator on the ground to collect information. Very handy. Number 8. Flying cars for the wealthy. Flying cars have been discussed at length over the last 2 decades, with a list of benefits a mile long. From lack of highway traffic to distances and time taken to travel, the possibilities are endless. Unfortunately, we really haven't come close to any major developments in the last couple of decades. However, there might be some hope on the horizon, with Porsche hinting at a design, be it a pricey one. If you're imagining a flying sports car, then you'd be right, with Porsche considering their move into a premium urban air mobility market bringing much speculation. Porsche and Boeing are said to have teamed up to build luxury, electric-powered vertical takeoff and landing aircraft for wealthy people to fly around larger cities. This may not entirely indicate that flying cars are on the agenda, but it could be a step in the right direction. Number 9. The reusable rockets that will take us to Mars. Elon Musk's company SpaceX has found a purpose for reusable rockets, which since 2015 have been regarded as impractical and unnecessary. SpaceX flies two types of rockets, the Falcon 9 and the Heavy, which use 9-engine first-stage boosters. With the Heavy being much larger, it ends up using 3. Following flights, the boosters return to Earth and arrive at landing sites or drone ships at sea. Since 2017, SpaceX has flown around 28 times with the new boosters and have also launched reuse boosters around 22 times. Musk's Starship is considered the next generation of rockets. Its development revolves around fully utilizing a reused rocket. The Starship is an interpretation on his vision of space travel, as it's capable of sending people to and from the Moon and Mars. Though the vehicle requires some refurbishment between each launch, it also brings the opportunity to make space travel more similar to that of air travel, with the only exceptions coming from minor maintenance between flights and the cost of fuel. The Starship would cost around $900,000 per launch, which is an improvement of sorts considering the Falcon 9 costs upwards of $62 million per launch. Number 10. Flying taxi, Uber Air. Uber Eats in the sky? Who knows? It could happen, especially with the rumored development of air transportation gaining traction by 2023. Uber and the US Army research team are working together in an effort to hone next-generation rotor tech that could see our flying vehicles a little quieter and overall more efficient. A combined $1 million is expected to be spent on this project, and it'll be a good way to test vehicles used in Uber's proposed urban aviation rideshare network. Uber Air are planning to have their aerial vehicles fly upwards of 2,000 feet and reach 150 miles per hour for short flights, with a battery charge lasting up to 60 miles. The plan to launch airborne Uber vehicles has been in the works for quite a while, and executives have become more vocal about their intentions over recent years. Number 11. Flying armored vehicle. Most of us are fans of Optimus Prime and the Transformers, but back in 2010, there were some hefty rumors of something very similar to the Autobots and Decepticons being constructed by the US Army. Rumors began circling online about a machine that looked very much like a toy, but could aid the defense team in the front lines in Afghanistan. Designed to look like a regular Army truck, the machine took on helicopter-like traits at the touch of a button, enabling its passengers to quickly escape danger. The vehicle could be utilized to avoid all roadside bombs, deploy troops into strongholds, allow for rapid escape from ambushes, and evacuate injured soldiers from the battlefield instead of waiting for a medical helicopter, increasing survival probability tenfold. Although anticipated to cost a hefty 132,000 pounds, the vehicle would be a real asset, with composite armor protecting all on board from gunfire and blasts. It would also be fitted with auto flight controls, making pilot choices far more flexible. Coupled with unique rotor blades for vertical takeoff, this vehicle would be both intriguing and advanced. Number 12. The self-folding drone. Researchers at the University of Zurich and École Polytechnique Fédérale de Lausanne, or EPFL, that's what I'm going to call it from now on, have been making great leaps to create a drone that can change its shape and size during flight. This is something that is deemed incredibly helpful in the event of emergencies, as the drone could transform itself to fit into any gaps or holes. Researchers have looked at birds as an example to determine how some fold their wings in order to traverse narrow places. Our solution is quite simple from a mechanical point of view, but it is very versatile and very autonomous, with onboard perception and control systems, says David Falanga, a researcher from the University of Zurich. Currently, the drone has 4 propellers that each rotate independently, while the drone itself fits the standard X shape with 4 arms stretching out. It can then adjust and fold into the shape of an H, O, and even a T when faced with difficult and tight passages. A camera is also mounted onto the drone in the center to get a close enough view to whatever it is seeking. The working concept is looking good, but the researchers are nowhere near done in testing the limits of the folding drone. New shapes and sizes are also being tested, along with how well it copes within a wide range of difficult terrain options. Number 13. Aerial robot that can change shape mid-flight. Researchers from the Etienne Jules Murray Institute of Movement Sciences have set out to design a new kind of aerial robot that has the ability to change shape mid-flight. Nature seems to have been a massive inspiration as they have looked at how birds adjust during flight in terms of direction and folding of wings. The quad-morphing robot can apparently navigate tight spaces by repositioning and orienting its arms. These arms are equipped with helicopter-like propellers as researchers attempt to use its shape-shifting abilities for emergencies and rescue missions. The robot can fly at a decent speed of 9 kilometers per hour and navigates using an autopilot system with the help of a 3D localization type system. Although recently it's been equipped with a small camera that can take around 120 pictures per second. With the future in mind, researchers would like the camera to allow the robot an ability to determine its own path, especially in the event that it needs to fold or tighten up through smaller passages. Number 15. Flying surfboard. Kai Concepts Jetfoiler surfboard looks to be the future for the many keen surfers out there. This motorized board uses hydrofoil in order to achieve a hover, which can drift across the water's surface, giving the user the appearance of walking on water. Constructed by Don Mantag, who was a former sail and kite surfer, the Jetfoiler has been jokingly compared to a magic carpet. The composite material on the board is the same type used on race boats in order to keep it solid whilst also rather light. Hydrofoil tech has played its part in making the board riding experience a smooth one, allowing the user to kite surf without the use of wings. The board also includes a wireless controller that can be used to adjust the speed. With a top speed of 25 miles per hour, the board sounds fun, but it'll set you back upwards of $12,000. If you enjoy surfing though, maybe that's a sacrifice you're willing to make. These are the most unusual flying vehicles that will change the world.